Jim Graham and Dave Sadler here for Beyond the Cage, presented by Fight Chicks. On the line, we have a very special guest joining us. He is the new RFA flyweight champion. He is Matt Manzanares. And Matt, thanks for joining us here on Beyond the Cage.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Now, Matt, Dave and I were wondering, what's it like out there in Wyoming in April? Is there still snow? Is it still cold? Or is it kind of like normal springtime here like we are in the Midwest?
Well, right now I'm actually at the park with my daughter. It's like 55 degrees, but windy. And, it's a little cloudy. But, it's pretty nice actually for us. We don't get that much nice weather, so we got to enjoy it, while we can. But, it's not bad. It's a nice day, and, I'm going to spend it with my daughter, so it's going great.
Now, we've only been in 2014 for a few months here, but I was wondering how the new year has treated you so far.
It's been a blessing, man. Everything has been going great, as far as my career and fighting, and with everything, my family and my job and stuff like that. So it's been a great year so far.
Now, your fight at RFA 14, you were originally supposed to fight Leandro Higo before Junior Moranjo replaced him. And I was wondering, when you found out about the opponent change, did that change anything you were doing in your training camp for that fight?
No, I found out probably about 2 weeks right before the fight. So we were already kind of, fine and tuned with our game plan and everything, and just putting the finishing touches on the game plan and the training and stuff like that. So as far as it didn't heckle with my training at all. The change of opponents, I still knew what I was going to be able to be capable of doing. And, we were, like I said, it was like 2 weeks, so it was fine.
Now that you are a RFA champion, do you feel any different?
No, not at all. I feel like the same person, man. It's been great. I've worked a lot of hard years to become the champion, and now that I am, it's great. It's a blessing, and I'm just taking everything day by day and just trying to get better every day, and just trying to become a better man every day. So it's good.
What was it like to fight and win the title in your hometown?
It felt great, man. It felt amazing. I've always loved to put on a show in front of my people, and this town backs me up 110%, and they've always been supportive of me. I got a lot of family and friends here. Grew up here my whole life, so it felt amazing. Especially to fight here in front of them. But then, to top it all off, I got to fight for a world championship for the great organization for RFA, and I won their belt, so everything was great.
If you had to do it all over again, would you rather win it in the hometown, or was there a lot of extra pressure leading up to it? Or, do you like the comforts of home before a fight?
It didn't really matter to me. I've fought here quite a few times already, and so it wasn't really like any added pressure. But since it was for a big fight and stuff, there was a little bit there, but not really pressure, I would say. Just put pressure on myself, not from anyone else. Just, wanting to do good, and especially, in front of all my family and friends, so.
Well, Matt, I'm not going to lie to you. I was unable to watch your fight live because I was working. I got bills to pay, but right. I DVR'd it. I got off work at 11 p.m. I watched the entire card. And for the first time in a long time, I sent out Facebooks and tweets and everything after you won the belt. And unfortunately, it was because of the press that it generated when your opponent fell off of his stool at the end of the fourth round. I'm wondering, did you see it? I'm sure you've seen it after the fact. And were you as upset as I was that the fight continued?
I didn't know it happened during the fight, to be honest with you. And when Pat Miletich was interviewing me after the fight, he asked me if we'd seen it or if my corner's seen it, and I thought he was just joking with me. So I just kind of blew it off and, kept talking or whatever and finished my interview. And then, afterwards, I think when I was, getting ready to change and get my gloves off and stuff in the locker room, I seen a clip of it, and to be honest with you, it kind of scared me. I was just like, oh my God, I didn't really know that happened, and it kind of felt like a dream. So, as far as am I disappointed that the fight wasn't stopped? No, I'm not disappointed because that's what I came to do. I came to fight, and Junior came out to fight too, and he fought really great. The 5th round, and but I mean, I could kind of go back and forth. Yeah, maybe I should have got a 4th round TKO, which wouldn't have looked bad on my part. But he came here to fight, and he fought hard, and it was up to the doctor and the refs call, and they didn't stop it. So the fight went on, and I won, and I got the W. So I guess that's all that mattered. And I even talked to Junior after the fight and stuff, and he said he was fine and everything was good, and he thanked me for a good fight. So that's what I'm more thankful for, is that he was okay.
Right. Yeah, it was definitely a scary situation, and hopefully that gets changed so that I don't want to see scary situations. Win, lose, or draw, I want both guys to walk out healthy. So
definitely, same here. I don't go in there to permanently injure someone or hurt someone like that. So I was just glad that he's okay and everything's going good with him right now. So.
Well, you alluded to it earlier, Matt, when you said it wouldn't have looked half bad on your record to have the TKO stoppage. I was looking back, and all of your pro fights except for 2 have been finishes of some sort, and that your 2 decisions were actually title fights. Do you think showing that type of style, is that something that you think the next level, whether it be Bellator, World Series of Fighting, UFC, whoever, is that something that looks good, do you think, to them?
I think so. As far as the record goes and everything, of course, the big shows and the big bosses, they want to see guys that finish fights and stuff, and so does the crowd. So, but as far as my 2 fights go, I fought 2 of the toughest guys in the world, and I went 5 rounds, with both of them, and one didn't come out in my favor and one did, but I think that it shows a big part in my game that, I could come in there to fight, and, I could still go 5 full rounds if needed to be.
Now, Matt, that was your 2nd consecutive 5-round fight. Do you feel like you're comfortable at 25 minutes that you could do that 100 times in a row now?
I do. I feel great. It's really boosted my confidence level, and, I think I'm still getting stronger. My cardio still needs to be improved, and, that was a great thing about losing the fight and then winning the fight, and then both of them going 5 rounds, is that, I got to see where I was at from there to now and to see where I could possibly keep going, Now, you're not a huge man. Obviously, you fight at 125 pounds, but from the start of your training camp till you weigh in, how much are you cutting from, in that time period? Not much, especially now, I've been on my diet again. I got on my diet as soon as the fight was over, maybe like 2 days after the fight. And, my weight's good right now. So I'd say in like a 6 to 8 week camp, probably 20 to 25 pounds.
Matt, that's absolutely ridiculous that you bloat up to 145 pounds.
Yeah, right.
That's absolutely crazy.
Yeah, well, actually, when I started my last one, I was at 155, and I got back from vacation and then started camp in like 6 weeks. So, it was a 25-pound cut, but I felt great. I felt better than my last camp against Bukowski. So,
is 25 what you normally cut? Would that be safe to say 25 normally?
Sure. Yeah.
Jim Graham and Dave Sadler talking with RFA flyweight champion Matt Manzanares right here on Beyond the Cage. And Matt, I was wondering if there's any particular fighter that you have looked up to throughout the years or have been a fan of, and somebody that you try to kind of model your style after or anything like that.
Not necessarily. I look up to a lot of fighters, and I try to pick stuff out of everybody's style just to make it my own or whatever. But nobody's really in particular right now. I don't know. I just like watching fights and like seeing how everybody's doing, and just try to pick up off of the good techniques that they're using and stuff like that, and the good training methods and stuff. So, I'm looking up to a lot of fighters right now, and nobody's really in particular.
Now, the last two men that have won the RFA flyweight title, their very next fight has been in the UFC, and I was wondering if you have heard anything from the UFC since your win at RFA 14.
No, I have not heard anything.
Bummer. That means you can't break anything new. any late news for us?
No, I wish I could, man, but nothing right now. No, I haven't. Sorry.
So as far as you know, your next fight will be defending your title?
As far as I know, yes, sir.
Now, the guy you fought before you won the title, Zach Bukowski, he since has gone on to the UFC. He's now 2-0 in the organization. He's rising through the ranks. He's probably on a short list of potential title contenders. And I was wondering if that surprised you at all, that all of a sudden he's able to beat you. He goes to the UFC and, he's beating some tough guys.
No, it doesn't surprise me, but, 'cause I know what type of fighter Zach is, and really he's a very, he's a high caliber fighter. He's been, world champion before, and, he's really good. So, no, it doesn't surprise me at all that he's almost in title contention for the UFC belt, which I think he deserves, after maybe one more fight, because, his last two fights in the UFC, yeah, he's looked really good, so no, it doesn't surprise me. I fought him. I know what type of fighter he is, the high caliber fighter he is. So, I'm really happy for him.
Now, just looking at the UFC, once again, their current flyweight champion is Demetrius Mighty Mouse Johnson. And I was wondering, when you look at him, is that kind of what you would say is maybe not perfection, but kind of the top of the hill, is something that you try to strive to achieve, is what he's been able to accomplish so far?
Yeah, definitely. I look at him and watch him fight, and just see the type of person that he's become, and the type of fighter that he's become. He's looked better and better every fight that he's been in. And he came up during the WEC and worked his way up to the 135-pound division, and then ended up going down to 125 once the UFC came along. But he's looked very good, and that would be one guy, that I would look up to and, hopefully want to compete against, or, maybe even surpass as far as my career goes and stuff like that.
As we kind of mentioned earlier, obviously you live in Wyoming, you train there, your last fight was there. Has there been any consideration by you at all to move somewhere else, either for nicer weather or for a bigger MMA camp?
For nicer weather, no. I don't mind the weather here, but don't get me wrong, it'd be great to have a little bit of sunshine here and there. But as far as MMA camps, yeah, definitely. I think I need to start venturing out a little more and get a lot more training in with these bigger camps down in Colorado and stuff like that. So I've been working my way up there a lot more than I've ever have, and I think it's helping me out a lot more, and I think I'm getting a lot better, as far as, going to train with these bigger camps and these, there's a lot more talent, down in Colorado and stuff. So, every time I go down there, to the different gyms and stuff like that, the gyms that I train at, everyone always welcomes me with open arms and, closed fists. But, I've been thinking about moving for a while now, just haven't pulled the trigger, eventually I'm definitely going to have to. And, when that time comes around, hopefully, me and my family will be ready for it.
Matt, before we started the interview, you said, and during the interview, you said you were enjoying a nice day at the park, with your daughter. I have two questions that I just have to know. One, did you bring the belt with you? And two, true or false, you've gone down the slide at least once today.
Oh, man. Well, one of them's true. And one of them's false. No, I didn't bring the belt with me, and yes, I did go down the slide.
Awesome.
Once again, he is RFA flyweight champion Matt Manzanares. You can follow him on Twitter at Manzanares MMA. And Matt, thanks for coming on the show. Appreciate the time and look forward to seeing you fighting again.
All right. Thank you guys very much. Thanks.
Once again, that was RFA flyweight champion Matt Manzanares right here on Beyond the Cage, presented by Fight Chicks.